Hello, YouTube! I'm back. It's time for a Transformers unboxing. The last of my G1 Masterpiece scale bots for now. I still have one left, but he's not G1. So I'll leave you with that little bit of mystery. And then, like I said, numerous videos recently, I do have some more on the radar, new releases that haven't quite come out yet. X-Transbots kept saying, oh, this figure's coming for Christmas, and this figure didn't come for Christmas. So I'm hoping, though, any day there's like 3 guys in a row here coming out that I hope are going to be kind of back to back to back, and I'll be able to pick them off and continue these videos over the next half a year or so with these next few figures, and then hopefully they'll continue with even more. So, but this guy, I've had possession of him for several months. I had him in the old house. He kind of arrived right after I'd packed up the house, so he kind of didn't even get packed into any tote. He was kind of on top of stuff and traveling kind of loosely on his own. And I've been really pumped to get him out of the box and get a look at him, because he's the last character of a certain subset of characters that I've been working on for quite a while now. And well, let's just give him a look here. He is the 5th and final Dinobot, Swoop. As you can see, Swoop, with the exception of Grimlock, follows the same format as the other, I guess, 3 Dinobots outside of Grimlock: Snarl, Sludge, and Slag, in that he is the from the Hasbro's Transformers the movie Studio 86 line, which are pretty close to the Masterpiece size and aesthetic and everything. So and they're good value too, compared to some of the other brands from overseas, like Takara, X-Transbots, Fans Toys, those sorts of things. In fact, like looking at some of the Fans Toys Dinobots, like hundreds and hundreds of dollars, like $300, $400, $500 per character, whereas this is like 70. So for the maybe a slightly better character with the Fans Toys, for the price difference, yeah, I'm going with Hasbro. So I'm very excited. Like I said, he's the 5th and final Dinobot to add to my collection and put on the shelf. I got a spot for him already picked out with his 4 buddies. Now, in terms of Swoop, he was part of the second wave of the Dinobots. The first 3 Dinobots were Grimlock, Slag, and Sludge. And when they performed well enough and Optimus Prime gave Wheeljack and Ratchet and those guys the go-ahead to make more, Snarl and Swoop came along as the last 2 Dinobots to make the total of 5. Now, we know the Dinobots have a contentious relationship with the Autobots, especially the leader Optimus Prime. Grimlock really has a bee in his bonnet about being the leader, and thus him and Optimus Prime are oftentimes at odds. Not that Optimus has a problem with Grimlock, it's all Grimlock's problems, and Grimlock's charges, the rest of the Dinobots all follow suit with Grimlock's kind of wishes. Now, Swoop is the most reasonable of the Dinobots, though. He is the nicest, the most down to earth, the one you can talk to, and who's actually you're gonna be able to hold a conversation with, and he's not gonna fly off the handle about Optimus being such a dick and whatever. Now, but when it comes to Optimus Prime, he kind of follows suit with the rest of the Autobots. So that kind of is his weak point in being the more reasonable one. He still has a problem with Optimus like the other Dinobots do. But outside of that, he's pretty approachable. Now, a lot of people don't know that on the Autobot side, because being associated with the rest of the Dinobots, the Autobots are a little standoffish towards the whole group. So they don't necessarily get that Swoop is actually, a decent bot compared to Grimlock and some of the other guys that can just be, I hate everything, like Slag, right? So it would be nice if they could maybe get a little closer to Swoop, give him a bit of a chance, right? But they don't. So now, in terms of his abilities, Swoop is the only Dinobot that's an aerial kind of form. The rest of them are all big, bruising land cruisers in their dinosaur modes. Swoop gives them a bit of support from the sky, being a pteranodon or a pterodactyl, whatever, and being able to take to the skies. So he's an excellent flyer. He's an excellent marksman with his bombs and dropping the thunder on enemies from high above. But that being said, as is the case with airplanes and things that fly, they tend to be more fragile than more robust ground vehicles. So that's kind of his downside, is that if he does take some damage, he can be put out of commission. So he can be a little fragile. That's really his only weakness. And people tend to shy away from him in his Dinobot mode, because he is kind of strange looking in his Pteranodon mode. Like, is a little, that's kind of scary, right? So even though that works against the Autobots as well, they're kind of like, oh, Swoop, whatever. But it works really good against his enemies too. So that's another kind of weapon in his arsenal, is his kind of fearsome countenance when he's in his Pteranodon mode. So now let's get a quick look at Swoop's G1 figure right now. Not bad. For the mid-'80s, that's a pretty good mold. And I found the original Dinobots, they were all pretty good molds. They did a good job at finding a way to turn a robot into various types of dinosaurs and making them look pretty realistic and pretty good. So I never had Swoop. I only ever had two Dinobots from the G1 toys. I had Grimlock and I had Snarl the Stegosaurus. Grimlock because he's the leader and I love Tyrannosaurus Rexes, and then Snarl the Stegosaurus, because as a young kid, my favorite dinosaur was the Stegosaurus, until eventually the Tyrannosaurus took the crown eventually, right? When I grew up to be a little older and be like a little more, right? So, but those were my two favorite dinosaurs as a kid growing up. And so those were the two Dinobots that I ended up obtaining over the years. So we're now going to watch some clips from some action with Swoop, some spliced together pieces, all from one episode, which was a multi-part series of episodes about the desertion of the Dinobots when they left the Autobots, and then the Autobots got into a bit of trouble and were going to cease to function, and the humans had to reach out to the Dinobots and say, you need to help us or Optimus Prime and all the Autobots are going to be done for, and the Decepticons are basically going to rule the earth. Yeah, so when it comes to helping the Autobots or letting the Decepticons rule over everything, you're gonna, even with a grudge against Optimus Prime, you're gonna side with the Autobots. So let the camera roll, baby.
What's the matter? We too fast for your rusty motors? Let's make them extinct! Decepticons! Charge! Sizzling Cybertron. It almost seemed too easy. Me, Grimlock, greatest warrior! Now, Skywalk! They're vulnerable in their robot modes! Fire! For the mighty Dinobots! It looks like they've had it. Here come Red Alert, Hoist, and Inferno.
I warned you guys there was trouble. You always say there's trouble, Red. How dreadful. What happened? I warned you there was trouble.
They've been at it for 6 hours already, and no results.
If anyone can repair the Dinobots, Ratchet, Wheeljack, and Hoist can.
Oh, we'd have a better chance if we didn't have to work with these primitive tools.
The tools on Cybertron were vastly superior.
Everything was better on Cybertron.
Swoop, transform! Ratchet, recalibrate the resistance rating. Try it now, Swoop. Good. Well, boys, we did it.
How are the Dinobots, Wheeljack?
They're all set to go.
Not a moment too soon. The Decepticons are on the rampage again. Dinobots, transform! No! Dinobots, no go! Me, Grimlock, no take orders. Never!
Yes, no! Me, Slag, agree! Me, Swoop, no listen to Optimus Prime. Grimlock, our leader.
Yes, Dinobots follow Grimlock.
But you love to fight.
Us fight when us want to. Now goodbye.
We must be getting close.
Too close. You follow us. Make trouble. Me, Grimlock, crush you. Grimlock, we need your brilliant help.
Me, Swoop, want to hear brilliant part.
The Autobots are dying, and only you can save them. No care about Autobots. Me, Grimlock, Dinobot.
If you don't help, the Decepticons will get all the Cybertonium they need.
Cybertonium? Cybertron. Okay, us do it. No, us no want to.
What'd he say?
Me, Grimlock, me leader. Me say us do it. Me, Grimlock, stop Constructicons. Constructicons, transform and merge into Devastator! Stowaways, stand back! We know stand back!
So there you got to see Swoop in his robot mode, in his flying mode, dropping bombs on people. And you also saw there a little bit when he saved Spike and Carly from imminent destruction under Grimlock's hoof. Is it hoof? Foot? Just a foot for a dinosaur? Paw? Claws? I don't know. He was the one that kind of saw reason and swooped in, swooped in and saved Carly and Spike from that destruction, and was willing to hear them out. So you can see a little bit of what I was talking about, how about he's the most reasonable Dinobot and can see some logic and some reason there. So yeah, so hope that got you a little slice of the swoop life there. So but yeah, anyways, that being said, I am going to get Swoop out of the box next, and then we will go into time lapse after that, and of course do his transformation, and then sum this thing up, and then my favorite part of the whole video process, which you don't get to see, add him to the shelf after. Let's do this. Alrighty, Swoop, the Swoopster. I'm very excited to get him on the shelf, like I said, and I also love the Hasbro molds because their transformations are so much simpler. Like even with the big boys, when I unboxed them years ago, well, not years, maybe a year ago, like Scorponok, Omega Supreme, the big boys, like even their being big characters, their transformations were so simple compared to some of the X-Trans bots and all those guys, right? Yeah, so we got instructions. They come with these little kind of things that you can put them on, right? But I'd love to keep them, but I only have so much room in this place, you know. God, it would be cool to keep that. I'll see. I'll think it over. I'll see. So here's Mr. Swoop. I remembered my scissors this time. I'm starting to remember things. That's good. Arms. So there's Mr. Swoop. See, they're pretty good looking robots. Like this Transformers Studio 86, like the movie ones. I mean, I've only done them for the Dinobots, but I've been very impressed, you know. They've been some good molds. Grimlock is still the best though, and he was a Takara Tomy one. And he's just heavy and fucking amazing. So, sword. And I guess a different sword. And then it's got something back here as well. I'm not sure what the hell this is. Oh, maybe the bombs. His bomb things in flight mode. That's, yeah. Yeah, so there's his little turrets. Doesn't look like they shoot. They're just for show. But yeah, so that's what goes on his wings, and he be dropping bombs, yo. So yeah, there he is. Looking good. Let's get him transformed in time-lapse mode, and then we'll wrap this thing up with my thoughts about this wonderful, wonderful Dinobot. There he is. Swoop, my boy. He was a beauty too. And like I said, with the Hasbro Studio 86 series, such an easy transformation. It took no time at all. Very intuitive type of transformation and very easy too. Everything's very tight, couple loose things on the wings, like that doesn't want to stay in sometimes, but no major parts that you're going to notice anything or have any troubles with in keeping him in his form or anything like that. So really solidly made figure. I love that up here it's a little bit of rubber on the red part around his head. So his head looks really cool, feels really cool. I like a lot of the gold detailing in there. His little claws look really neat. And my favorite part about him though is the head, the pterodactyl head. It looks so mean and fierce, and looks just like Swoop's head in the Transformers series. They did a really good job representing Swoop really well with this figure. And like I said, he's so much cheaper than some of the ones from overseas, like Fans Toys especially. A lot of the other companies didn't have the Dinobots, so there wasn't really any options outside of Fans Toys that I could find of those types. So otherwise I would have researched it a bit more and tried to find the best value for cost and quality of figure that I could find. But really it was like spend a bunch on Fans Toys or spend a very reasonable amount on the Hasbro Studio 86 series. So the choice was very, very obvious. Other than Grimlock, like I said, who came from Takara Tomy and is a really awesome figure, really hefty, heavy duty, looks fantastic, and he was cheap too, comparatively. I think he was not much more actually than these guys. Like I got a really good deal. He was like $90 or something like that for like. He's one of those figures. I have a few that are like really, really heavy. Like Ultra Magnus is another one who from No, he's Takara Tomy as well. But I have a couple guys, like a handful of guys on the shelf that are so heavy duty. Like Grimlock and Ultra Magnus feel like they could be murder weapons. They're so heavy, right? So I was very happy with my Grimlock. But considering the alternatives out there for the other 4 Autobots, these guys are very quality figures for a very awesome price. So you can't go wrong with these guys. And I'm sure the Grimlock's really good too, but I already had him from, like I said, from Takara Tomy. So I don't know what the Studio 86 Grimlock is like, but I'm sure he's amazing as well. So so that wraps this unboxing up. That wraps up the Dinobot unboxing. So in the body of this message, I will post links to my other Dinobot videos in case you're interested in seeing what the other guys look like. If the links aren't up right away, I apologize. I sometimes forget when I'm posting the video to include those, but I always remember in the end and go back and do them later. So patience for an old man is very much appreciated. And yeah, like I said, I have one more Transformer Masterpiece scale figure in my possession right now. He's just not a G1 character. Let the mystery simmer. Try and figure out where you think this is coming and or where it's going. And after that, I have one more G.I. Joe unboxing for the time being, and then another one that's a little off the board. We've seen a little bit of this before, but not a lot. So yeah, so I got 3 more coming up in the near future. And then once I get the 3 of those guys all done, it's kind of just going to be unboxings as I acquire new items, because most of these figures I've had since before my wife and I separated, and I was just sitting on them because I was so busy with moving and everything else that came with separating and getting my own place. So I'll finally get through all these, and then I'll begin. I won't be able to buy as many as often as I used to, but I will continue to collect. And for the Transformers, I've got so many now at this point that there's not that many characters left, which is a very good thing, especially now that I'm on my own. But I will continue to try and pick away at them if possible over the next several months, years, however long it takes, because I love them and they make me happy. And when you get to this age and you've gone through all the shit I've gone through, you gotta make yourself happy. You gotta make yourself happy. Peace.
Meow.